Hello.
Jaq Gleeson.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. At you.
There you go. So this is just how we're going to work this here. We're going to have a little chat. We're going to talk. We're going to ask some questions. If you guys have any questions, there are microphones here. I guess one right here in the middle. Whenever you have questions, please feel free to jump up and grab a mic, and we'll get to you.
And they can just be questions about anything.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have to be about me or Game of Thrones. Just where's the toilet, or, you know, what should I have for dinner tonight? You know, just general questions.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how we roll here. We're an information font.
Yes, we are.
So, Jaq, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, obviously Game of Thrones is the big thing, but everybody already knows about Game of Thrones.
Right.
So let's talk about you. What have you been doing since Game of Thrones?
Well, since Game of Thrones, chronologically, I was in Dublin studying. I was studying philosophy and theology, actually, at the same time as filming Game of Thrones. And I set up a little theater company with some friends. And, yeah, we put on shows.
Was that the Puppet Theater?
Correct, yeah. Collapsing Horse was the name. And, yeah, I guess they were inspired by Pixar stories, fantasy stories. But, yeah, mostly puppetry and children's theater. So we put on shows like that for a few years. And then since about 2018, 19, I got back into screen acting. And yeah, I've just been working on different projects since then, and on stage as well. But yeah, I've been really enjoying it. So, and also being able to go around doing these brilliant Comic-Cons and meeting nice people like you.
So, okay, it's interesting. You said...
Thank you.
That's actually a round of applause for you.
Yes.
So, now you said that the Collapsing Horse?
Yes.
Is that correct? So you said Collapsing Horse was kind of like Pixar, and Pixar tends to be fairly uplifting.
Yeah.
Is that become a direct reaction to the Game of Thrones?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I think, because like it wasn't me setting it up. It was kind of our group of friends as a collective setting it up. It all came about, to be honest, just because a good friend of ours, a good friend of mine, an actor called Aaron Heffernan, who you might have seen as well. He's on this English comedy show called Brassic, and he's very talented. But he just happened to be really into puppetry. He was studying drama at the time, and he loved this South African theater company called Handspring that produced the famous Warhorse theater show. And he was just like, let's just put on a puppet show. And we said, yeah, why not? And we just came up with this idea about this kind of quaint story about a human boy who lived in a world of puppets, of animal puppets. And he was, seen as a monster because he wasn't like anyone else. And he was also a clockmaker's apprentice. And the show starts, and then he goes on this big adventure discovering, the true meaning of friendship and going on all these kind of fun kind of journeys. And that was our first show, and it just kind of worked well. And then after that, we just made more and more. So that's how it happened. But we didn't intend to set up a puppetry theater company. It just kind of happened, and it was really fun as a result of that. It's just an organic thing. And yeah, we still work together, but just in different ways. So, but yeah, maybe one day we could bring a show to Vilnius.
So the puppets aren't coming back anytime soon?
Well, I'd love that. I mean, Aaron still makes puppets, and he still has all the beautiful puppets, but maybe in some form. Yeah, possibly.
And you also said you're studying philosophy and theology.
Yeah.
Has that kind of informed very famously, obviously, after Game of Thrones, you kind of shunned the public spotlight. So going into university, doing philosophy and theology, and now coming back into performing, has that informed your choices, both in the roles that you take and in the way that you perform those roles?
Wow. I guess the simple answer is no, but I did love studying for lots of reasons. And I think specifically studying like an arts and humanities degree, like philosophy and theology, specifically philosophy, but I guess it teaches you critical thinking. It teaches you how to break down an argument and how to think, essentially. Not that anybody who doesn't study philosophy doesn't know how to think, but it gives you, it gives you lessons in logic, essentially, and reason. And I really enjoyed that. So I guess it probably has impacted how I see the world and how I think and who I am as a person. And I loved it. I'd recommend anybody who hasn't dipped into bits of philosophy to do so. Because I didn't really know much about it until I studied it. And I loved it.
So who's your favorite philosopher?
Oh, gosh. Too many to choose from. We'll be here all day. I did my kind of undergrad dissertation on the Austrian philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein, specifically on his first book, the Tractatus. And that was really interesting. He was alive in the early to mid 20th century, and he spoke a lot about philosophy itself. You know, in his philosophy, he tried to analyze and criticize philosophy, which creates a lot of questions of like, you know, one of his theses is that like philosophy, the sentences and the grammar of philosophical sentences are sort of nonsensical and they don't have any sense. But while he's arguing that, you know, I'm kind of understanding what he means, but how can it make sense what he's saying when he's doing philosophy, but saying philosophy is nonsense? So that was the fun kind of puzzle to unpick in the long evenings when I was doing my dissertation. So I like him a lot. He's cool.
So do you like puzzles, word games, that kind of stuff?
I like crosswords. I wouldn't say I'm very good at them. I play Wordle a lot, if anyone here is a Wordle fan. And yeah, I'm not that good. I feel like even, you know, I'm 33, but my brain is not as fast as it used to be. I really wish I was like as clever as I was when I was 20, but I'm a bit slower now. But I do like crosswords. Yeah. Do you like crosswords?
I do. I do. That's one of the few puzzle things that I do is crosswords.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, maybe you can help me next time.
We'll do it.
We can do one together.
Excellent. Okay, so kind of moving forward then, what are you working on now? What's
Yeah, so just a whole array of different projects. Really, the last thing I did was a Netflix show. It hasn't come out yet, called House of Guinness. It's a new program, and it's about the famous Irish family, Anglo-Irish family, who made the beer, the Guinness beer, which I don't know if anyone here has ever tried it.
Any Guinness fans?
Any Guinness fans in the room? Yeah.
There we go.
I mean, it's funny. Like, I do like Guinness as an Irish person, but you know, I'll also drink other things. But sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I even really like Guinness, but I drink it all the time, and it's almost like I kind of have to or something. But no, I do like it. It's very delicious. And so that's what the show is about. It's set in 1870, set in Dublin. And that was really fun to film. It was produced and written by Stephen Knight, who made Peaky Blinders. And so, yeah, the scripts are amazing. Loved my character, loved all the other actors. A lot of them are Irish. And it was just a blast. So
how do you go about picking the roles that you pick? I mean, first of all, do you have a lot of choice? And if you do, how do you make those decisions?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't have the choice in the sense that, you know, I audition for every part that I go up for. It's very rare that I'd get offered a part. So I guess it comes through my agents. They'll try and pitch me for a part, and then I'll get an audition. Like, how do I choose my parts?
Well, or the other side of that is, have you ever been, you know, has your agent ever called you and said, hey, listen, we want you to go up for X, and you go, no.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that has happened, but it's not like necessarily to do with the part or the specific thing. Sometimes a job might bring you to the other side of the world for a few months, and maybe I just like staying at home a little bit, and it's weird. I mean, at the same time, you know, I am kind of open to anything. I'm open to any kind of job, wherever it is, but it just kind of depends on the mood you're in that day of, can I picture myself, you know, doing that? And sometimes the agent is there to kind of push you and to make you realize that, you know, you could audition and it would be good, but I kind of just vibe it out based on how I'm feeling.
Fair enough. But no, like with a role like Joffrey, which, you know, is the man we love to hate, right? Does everybody love to hate Joffrey? Is that
absolutely,
you know, fair thing? No, you don't applaud Joffrey. But I mean, obviously, I mean, I'm sure that there was some backlash. You know, people that might confuse you with character, things like that.
I mean, sorry to interrupt, but actually, that never happened, thankfully. So actually, I think it's like more of a rumor, if you have heard that to be a rumor on the internet. So I can assure everyone that's never happened. And I'm very grateful, I guess. I mean, there's a first time for everything, so everyone here seems quite nice, but maybe you can be my bodyguard in case someone tries to attack me. But no, you know, I've come to a lot of Comic-Cons. I've met lots of fans of Game of Thrones, and honestly, never once has anybody confused me for Joffrey. I mean, I think if you did, you'd need to kind of see a doctor quite quickly. So yeah, I'm lucky. I haven't been attacked.
But playing a character like that, which is a dark, villainous character, does that put you off of playing those kinds of characters, or are you like, I can still do dark and evil?
Yeah, again, it depends character to character, script by script. Like, I loved playing Joffrey for lots of reasons. And like, since then I've played like darker characters, or like people that, you know, are not the good guys, essentially. And I don't know, I really enjoy it. I really love it. I get a kick out of it. So, you know, people talk about being typecast. It's like, if I'm typecast as like the bad guy for the rest of my life, I really don't mind, because I enjoy playing those characters. And, but yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, you just have to take it as it comes.
So how do you then prepare for playing any role? I mean,
any
good,
role.
bad.
Again, it depends character to character. I suppose, I mean, the funny thing is that I feel like a lot of the time, sometimes the first time you read a script, you often have like a direct reaction to it, and you can start to imagine how the character sounds and walks and looks and feels. Sometimes it takes longer and it's more of a struggle. But you just slowly get this picture of what this person is like and how they, I was going to say smell. I don't know that's how that but smell on a more kind of deeper level, not like the actual smell, but what their kind of atmosphere is and their aura is. And it's nice when it happens straight away, because then you feel like, okay, I know this guy. Just takes time reading the script, thinking what their day-to-day life is, what kind of, you know, just trying to inhabit their mind and create scenarios that you can visualize them in. And it just takes time. And then, you know, often the first day of filming, I don't really know the character that well, and I have to discover who the character is over the course of the filming, and you just have to be patient.
So, I mean, a lot of actors will say that they write out like character diaries and they want to get to know their characters. So do you ever sit down and go, who is this character's favorite philosopher?
I've never done that, but that's probably it might be a good thought experiment. Yeah, it's like there are lots of different techniques. Like one technique, I don't do it all the time, obviously, but it's almost like an improvisation technique, because in general, I just think of the character as the lines, you know, that are in the script. But sometimes they call it like hot seating or something, where like someone, the director or whoever, a friend, will like ask me questions in character. You know, I'll be in the character and I just have to come up with whatever response is. So yeah, it's like, what's your favorite ice cream? It's like, well, maybe I haven't thought about what my character's favorite ice cream is, but whatever answer comes out will end up kind of hopefully making sense, and then that will add a small layer to the backstory or to the psychology of the characters. So sometimes hot seating, as it's called, I like doing.
Okay. Well then, okay, I guess that leads to the next thing is, you've been performing. Any thoughts about getting more behind the camera, writing, directing?
Yeah, I don't know if I could be a director. I think it's too much responsibility. And then writing, I mean, say with the theater company I had with my friends, it was like, I never really sat down at the computer and typed out dialogue, but I loved the process of, all the shows, or most of them, would be devised by the whole cast and crew. So we would come up with the ideas ourselves, we'd come up with some of the jokes, and then we would have one writer who would kind of distill all those ideas into a clean kind of scene. So I really like that way of writing in a more collective, collaborative way. But again, I don't know if I could sit down at a desk and just write on my own. It's one of the reasons I love being an actor, is because, you get to play with a big cast and a team, and you get to be a cog in a big wheel. So writing I think it's kind of lonely sometimes, so not for me.
Well, fair enough. Are there any questions? I mean, we can keep talking, but if you guys, seriously, if you have questions, please.
Okay, hello. My question, you said you like to acting Joffrey, yes?
Yes.
When I watch Game of Thrones, I hated and despised Joffrey because of his grotesque action, and when he died in horrible and painful death from poisoning, I was relieved because finally that small devil spawn finally get what he deserved.
Yes.
So what you felt when you watched Joffrey in Game of Thrones?
That's a good question. To be honest, I can't kind of see Joffrey as a character. I really hate watching myself act, because I just see all the mistakes and I think, oh, why did you do it that way? And I just don't want to see it. But I guess when I was reading the books, it was different. When I read the first book, and obviously I hated him, but I loved how horrible he was as well, and how evil, and it got a similar reaction out of me. So it's just a great character that George R. R. Martin brought to life. So I have him to thank, and I'm glad you got a lot of satisfaction from the death.
Another question.
Today, every actor under the sun basically starts one or another role in DC or Marvel. Since most of us probably remember Batman Begins.
Yes.
Yeah. Ever you wondered maybe there would be kind of a thing like you turn into Robin, Boy Wonder, and if you would turn it into Robin, what kind of Robin you imagine? Like old school Robin, modern Robin?
I love that question. Definitely I'd love to turn into Robin. Yeah, and I think even when I was filming, if you don't know, I had a small part in the Batman Begins film with Christian Bale, just as a little boy. That was my kind of credit. And I think a part of me was like, they're going to want me to play Robin, as a 10-year-old, and it never happened, obviously. What kind of Robin would I be? Yeah, maybe I'll be a really old school, cheesy one, that wears the underpants and is just hey guys, let's go.
And climbs the wall.
And what?
And climbs the wall.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, has there been when was the last modern Robin portrayal? Was it the George Clooney version or?
The Batman
Titans, the TV show.
Okay, I actually haven't seen that, but yes, there's a lot of choice. I'll wait for the producers to call me and offer me the part, and then I'll start thinking about it.
You mentioned you studied theology and philosophy while filming the show and afterwards. So I know actors can contribute to the show sometimes in writing and direction. So did you give advice or contribute to the show in any way related to your studies, like maybe in theology?
Wow, yeah. Again, I don't think I did, but like, I definitely, yeah, I don't know. I definitely got on a lot with Dan and Dave, who were the screenwriters. And actually, as a very thoughtful gift, when I left the show, they gave me a copy of this book that I was studying at the time by that philosopher I mentioned, Ludwig Wittgenstein. So I think they had a similar thought process. But certainly the book is filled with amazing theological thought, if you want to put it that way, from George R. R. Martin. And but no, I wasn't hired as a consultant, sadly. But maybe in the future I could. I could create a role for myself like that, yeah.
Really quick, before we get to the next question, you mentioned reading the book.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of reading of the source material when you've got something that's adapted, or do you like reading just in general?
I like reading in general, for sure. Like, I think sometimes you don't want to read the source material or look at the source material because you want the performance to, not be clouded by someone else's idea. But, George R. R. Martin's vision was the kind of vision of the TV show as well. So I thought it's a no-brainer. And there was lots more description of Joffrey, even physically, and how he, felt in the books than in the scripts. So I definitely learnt a lot from reading the books, which was very valuable to the characterization. Yeah.
Please.
Hi, so I have a question and a comment.
Yep.
First of all, magnificent performance of Joffrey. This is like, you built this character and you brought it to life, and I think every single person was happy seeing Joffrey die, and it brought so much satisfaction. So just very controversial to see a character and seeing how you're behaving right now like a sweetheart. This is like how it's even happening. And as well on TikTok, I've seen a lot of videos saying like the most hated actors after their villain roles. And thanks for clarifying that it's actually not true, because I actually felt uncomfortable asking you even about the role, because I thought it should be like quite damaging to be hated after. So I'm really happy that it's not.
Me too.
Yeah, and about actually the philosopher, you said that if Joffrey, there was a question from you, actually, incredible question. If Joffrey would have a favorite philosopher, who it would be and why?
Oh my days. Oh my days. I don't know, Ayn Rand or someone. I don't know. Who's the kind of like, I mean, Ayn Rand is the kind of obvious one, or Nietzsche, or... I mean, I feel like philosophers are generally like trying to make the world a better place, or they're trying to like understand things and trying to... figure things out for the kind of betterment of society. And but I'm sure there's a way that Joffrey could have like misinterpreted on purpose some of Nietzsche's work. So maybe it would have been him.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi. I wanted to ask if you felt any kind of impact on your own personality from your roles, and if yes, which character did it the most, and in which way? Maybe unconsciously, but in general, no. I mean, I find it pretty easy to when the director says action and when the director says cut, that's just when I'm being the character, and I'm able to switch back to being Jaq pretty quickly. But yeah, I was doing like a TV show last year in the Netherlands, and my character, was this kind of violent guy, and he was just like big, kind of like this, and just like swearing all the time. And like, I think I did start to like talk a little bit like that, because it's like a Dublin accent where I'm from in Ireland, but a slightly different type of accent. And maybe there were a few times where I was like, I just need to like stop using that voice, because maybe I'll like turn into a criminal if I do. But in general, no, I find it easy to separate the two.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you very much for the autograph that you gave me on the book.
You're welcome.
And the question that I have is that usually there's a lot of, green screen and various effects used in movies and TV series.
Yeah.
And as you have portrayed a few villain roles, I was wondering, as you kind of have to get into this, the atmosphere and the mood of the villain, but there's a lot of various green screens, etc., so it kind of gets hard, and then maybe there was some kind of memorable scene, not only from Game of Thrones, but your other endeavors, which kind of just had to be done multiple times because it was absurd, funny, or how to just get into it,
So you're asking, like, is it kind of distracting in a way if you're...
Yeah.
If there are artificial
was
sets.
there kind of really memorable scene which was funny due to like these green screens or something?
Right, yeah. I mean, not necessarily funny, no, because, yeah, in general, it's really annoying. I find it really annoying to... It's just part of the job, of course. There's a lot of things that aren't real. Most things aren't real when you're on a film set, and you just have to pretend and you have to believe it. But say, for instance, I do remember once, like, sitting on the Iron Throne, filming a scene, and I don't know if I did it, like, during a take or just in between takes, because the Iron Throne, sadly, is not actually made of real swords melted down, but of some kind of plastic. Obviously, it looks very cool, and it was made by very skilled craftspeople. But yeah, there was like a little piece of sword, plastic sword that was like sticking out, and I was kind of like fidgeting with it, and then I like snapped it off by accident. So I like broke the Iron Throne, and I was like, oh, so I need some super glue or something to like glue it back on. So I think they fixed it. But yeah, you just have to, that's the job. You have to believe in these things that aren't real. So you just have to get on with it.
Did you take home that broken piece of a sword?
No, No, I think I like left it on the chair and pretended it wasn't my fault. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. So first of all, I wanted to thank you for coming here. It's a real pleasure to have you in Vilnius. And my question would be, if you could play anybody from either Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, who would it be and why?
Ooh, there's so many good characters. It's so hard. I actually haven't seen House of Dragon yet, so I need to watch that. But there's so many good characters. Maybe Hodor, It's easy for learning lines. No, I mean Tyrion. Tyrion is an amazing part. I also love Varys, Littlefinger.
All of the smarter characters, correct?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, well, yeah, just really well written. I guess like Littlefinger is fun because he's kind of on the edge of, you don't know what he's thinking. So yeah, maybe him.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, so this is more not with roles question, but obviously you're from Ireland.
Yeah.
Have you kept up the Irish language? Do you know much?
Oh, Mayiha. No, Nílam Óbalta Caint Ascuelga Curva. That's me saying I can't speak Irish at all. Do you speak Irish?
A little bit, yeah.
Piece of biog, cúpla focal. No, it's really sad. I did it for my leaving cert, which is like the last exam you do before leaving school. And I got a good grade in it, So at one point when I was like 18, I wasn't fluent, but I could have a conversation and I could understand the radio and watch the news in Irish, but it's obviously there somewhere. I just need to practice it. But yeah, I would like to speak it more.
Also another thing, when people ask you, like, do you speak Irish? Do you often tell them actually what they're asking you to translate? Or do you sometimes go like, we'll get a gum dog with your letters type of Irish?
Yeah. Banya, sort of, Cockamillish, that kind of thing. I usually just tell the truth because I'm a very truthful person. But yeah, there are like phrases like, will Catagum Dulgadi on letters means like, can I go to the bathroom? Which we would always ask if we're in an Irish lesson. So if someone's like, how's your time been in Vilnius? But say it in Irish, say, an bhfuil ceadagum dulgadí an leithreas. But yeah, that's funny.
Okay, Gurr Mahagat.
Gurav Magath, Gurav Mila Magath. Thank you. Cheers.
Hi. With the whole respect to the show, I rewatched it a couple of times. There is a section of audience that I would say a bit dislike the ending of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we watch the ratings of the show,
Yeah.
it's slightly drop off at the end.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion about that? How would you end if you were that gatekeeper who just need to approve how everything needs to finish?
Wow, I feel like there's lots of whispers around here. Whispers. That's a really, really good question. I don't think I have a good answer for it because it sounds bad, but I actually haven't watched all of Game of Thrones. So I intend on watching it all. It mostly comes from what I was saying earlier about I don't like watching myself on screen. But enough time has passed now that I think it's okay. I can watch the whole show. So I don't know. Yeah. Do you have what's your answer to your own question? Do you have a good answer? Or does anybody have an answer?
Does George R.R. Martin have an answer?
Oh, I don't know. I hope he does. Does anyone have an idea of how it should have ended? I do know how it's ended. Yeah, how it ended. And I know people were disappointed, but I can't say because I don't know enough. Obviously, I'd like Joffrey to just win, but that's possible. He could come back as a White Walker or something. That would be my way to end it. Yeah. Bring Joffrey back.
Thanks.
Thanks. That makes sense. Yeah, she said she wants Daenerys and Jon to live happily ever after. That's sweet. Yeah, that's maybe in a dream, in someone's dream it can happen. But yeah, thank you.
Hello,
Hi.
thank you for being here and thank you for all your work. My question is, do you think Joffrey would be different if Cersei could be less toxic? Or maybe Robert or even Jaime could be more involved as father figure to Joffrey? Maybe he would turn out different, or he's just born bad? What do you think?
I think so, yeah. I think it's a good question. It's the debate that will never have an answer, the difference between nature and nurture. But certainly, if he was nurtured better by his dad/uncle, or by Robert, or by Cersei, definitely, I think a lot of his behavior comes from him being insecure and needing to prove himself to be this tough guy in front of his family, and it doesn't explain everything, but yeah, a little bit of what do they call it, gentle parenting or something like that. A bit of kindness, and he could be rehabilitated, perhaps, yeah.
And okay, it's a bit about internet culture. There's a little meme about Joffrey the Gentle, and the theory is that in the Song of Ice and Fire universe, Joffrey will be remembered as the good king because his reign was all the villainy thing. All the villainous things were put on Tyrion, and he was this innocent child, and he's gonna be remembered as this gentle kid who was
taken advantage of. He was manipulated. I love this. I love this.
Yeah, he was manipulated by the adults and his evil dwarf uncle.
Yes,
that.
this is great. Justice for Joffrey,
Yeah, justice for Joffrey.
He was
T-shirts.
he wasn't that bad. He was just a kid. Come on, guys, come on.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, you probably haven't seen the 6th season. There
No.
was a stage play where Joffrey was even portrayed as this a bit silly, a bit innocent, kid.
Yeah,
and,
he was just having a good time.
Yeah, so, yes.
I like that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I support Joffrey the Gentle. Narrative rewriting of history. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for being here today. So actually a follow-up question to what she just asked, which is perfect timing. I wanted to ask, what are the qualities of Joffrey that you think are positive, that you would want your close family members to have? At least one. There has to be one. You were a part of the character. You must have one. I know he's a villain, I get it, but you were a part of it. You were Joffrey. Did you see anything, or at least did you feel that there could be some hidden good qualities?
Well,
Tricky, right?
I think he had the potential to be good, for sure. We all do. And like maybe I could see a little bit maybe in his relationship with Marjorie where she was kind of manipulating him to act a certain way for her benefit. So yeah, maybe if he hung out with Marjorie a bit more, he'd start giving more to charity, start looking after, the poor people in society. So maybe I'd say what he has, that we all have is the potential for change, the potential to be better, the potential to atone and be a good person. But
so in the end, it's the potential.
It's the potential, not the actual.
Qualities. Yeah,
no,
fair enough.
The actual is all bad.
Maybe you felt some kind of connection that there is a positive
Definitely.
side of him, but it's too deep within, from what I understand.
But no, I mean, when I was playing him, you have to empathize with your character. It doesn't mean you think they're great or you condone their actions, but yeah, you have to understand them and understand where they're coming from. And yeah, sometimes he did things just out of impulse, and sometimes there were deeper causes. And yeah, he's also a three-dimensional person that was also young, and he had other things going on in his life, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. Joffrey the Gentle. That's
Joffrey the Gentle. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Hey, I liked your story about how you broke the Iron Throne. Do you have any other stories from the set that were kind of funny? Something happened? Maybe some interactions with other actors, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that comes to mind just there was there's a scene, obviously, after the Purple Wedding where Joffrey is laid out on a kind of a plinth and he's dead and he has these kind of stones on his eyes. I guess they're preparing for his funeral. And Cersei and, I can't remember his name, Nikolai's character. What's his name? Jamie. Jamie, of course. Need to have a coffee or something. Cersei and Jamie, they're talking and then they do other things, obviously. But, I remember being on set that day and lying on that plinth, and obviously all I had to do for the whole scene was just be still, and you have to get up early to film and that kind of thing. So I do remember like falling asleep a few times, and then kind of like waking up in the middle of a scene. And it's like, oh my God, they're filming. I better just stay as still as possible. But no, every day was great. I loved every day of filming, and it was just like a really nice atmosphere, and but like also pretty professional. We weren't like, I wasn't joking around too much. You're kind of there to do the job, and I guess I took it seriously. But in between, you can have a laugh and that kind of thing. So I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the answer.
Thank you. Cheers.
Hi.
Hi.
So when you said that you did not watch whole of Game of Thrones, and the other part, I forgot it, I would wager a bet that it's not your genre of media you consume. So my two questions. What is the genre you prefer in films, series, literature, and whether you would prefer to act in the genre that you like, or rather that you do not like the genre?
Yeah. I mean, the books I read don't tend to be fantasy books, but I do like fantasy TV shows and films a lot. and say like one of the plays we did, like a lot of the theater we made back in the day was inspired by fantasy and sci-fi even. We'd made one sci-fi play, which was really fun, called Bears in Space. It was great. And so yeah, I do like fantasy, I do like sci-fi. I like period dramas as well. So I'd like, have I done a period drama? Well, I guess that show about the Guinness family, that's set in 1870, so I guess that's a period thing. But yeah, I'd like to do more period stuff. I mean, I like comedy as well, like just straight up comedy. I find it hard sometimes as an actor to like be funny when I kind of have to be funny. It's like I'm funny when I'm with my friends, but when you're reading a script and you're like, okay, I have to be funny, it's a bit more of a struggle. But honestly, I'm very open when it comes to genres. Maybe not action. I don't know. I'm not that fast. I'm not that strong. Maybe they can like give me like a body double or something. I can just like Tom Cruise. So, but yeah, which genres do you like personally yourself?
Romance.
Romance, yeah. Yeah,
Just
nice.
Anything that has deep characters.
Yeah.
That the main point is the character growth.
Yeah.
And whenever there's romance around them, that's what I prefer.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean, like Jane Austen, I like a lot. I like her romance novels, and rom-coms as well. I mean, rom-coms are some of my favorite films of all time. Like Richard Curtis is amazing. Or Nora Ephron. Love all of her movies. So yeah, I could be in a rom-com maybe. That'd be cool. Thanks for your question. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
I know that you had a few roles in playing evil characters, and you got acquainted with their evil mindsets. Did it make you a better person through getting that experience? And if yes, how did it change your personal philosophies?
That's a deep question. I mean, I don't know if it did really make me think about morality differently, but it is a strange feeling when I'm in character and the character is doing something horrible, like killing someone or saying something horrible. Because obviously, even though it's all fake and you know that there's a camera there or whatever, it's obviously fake. It still kind of gives you a weird feeling of power, or like, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it teaches me that like we are all actually capable of doing terrible things. And even though I'm sure everyone in this room is a lovely person, you know, as you know, me and Jaq are as well, but I think everybody is capable of doing terrible things, and there's a fine line between good and bad, and it makes me think about that.
Thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you. Thanks.
And I think this will be our last question.
Then I hope I'll make it a good one. So
A lot of pressure.
If not, then it won't be the last. No.
You've mentioned that you read a lot of different types of books, from philosophy to probably some regular ones, and you like different genres of movies. Which character would you love to play out and act out, or have you already done your favorite one?
Well, kind of, because the part that I always wanted to play when I was a kid was Puck from Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream. And I got the opportunity very recently to play that role in the second season of The Sandman on Netflix.
Really?
And yes, so that's going to be coming out in July. He's obviously, the Puck is he's not really the Shakespearean Puck, but he is still inspired by it. So yeah, that was my dream come true. So I was delighted with that. So yeah, you get to see that. It's a great question, great answer to end on. Well done.
That's a fabulous question to end on.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you all for coming. Thank you, Jaq, for the amazing answers. And go enjoy the rest of the convention.
Enjoy, and thank you for being so welcoming and kind over the weekend. I really appreciate it. Thank you.